I'm 42 years old. Married for 14 years. 2 kids, 11 and 8. Suburban house, golden retriever, the whole cliché. If you'd asked me a year ago how my life was going, I would have said, boring but good. Stable. Safe. Predictable. My wife, Emily, has always been photogenic. Effortlessly so. She laughs and somehow the light bends toward her. I used to joke that the universe had a crush on her. We hired a family photographer 3 years ago after our youngest was born. His name was Daniel. Late 30s, artsy, soft-spoken. He had that quiet confidence creative people carry. My wife found him online. Said she liked his natural style. He started doing our Christmas cards. Then birthday shoots. Then random, just because, mini sessions in the fall when the leaves turned gold. I didn't think anything of it. Why would I? Back then, the only thing I noticed was how she seemed to glow in his photos. Now I understand why. Daniel stopped feeling like the photographer and started feeling like part of our extended orbit. He'd stay after shoots, drink coffee with us at the kitchen table. Talk about lighting and travel and his failed art school years. Emily loved those conversations. I'd see her lean in when he spoke. She'd laugh softer than usual. I noticed, but I dismissed it. She said he made her feel seen. I thought that meant artistically. Like he saw her personality. I even liked that about him. He'd show her the back of his camera and say, "Tilt your chin just slightly, yes, that's you." That's you? I thought it was professional. Looking back, he knew her best angles before I did. He'd move a strand of her hair without asking. Adjust her shoulder gently. It was intimate, but in a way I convinced myself was normal. I trusted both of them. That's the part that still burns. About a year ago, Emily started caring more about how she looked on ordinary days. New dresses, not flashy, just softer. Flowy. More. Her, she said. She started doing her makeup even when we were just running errands. She also started scheduling more photo sessions. Mini motherhood series. Golden hour couple shots. Just the kids in the backyard. Daniel was suddenly at our house every few weeks. I remember once walking outside mid-shoot. He was standing very close to her. His hand was on her lower back while adjusting the angle. She didn't move away. They didn't jump apart either. They just looked at me, calm. Like I was the outsider interrupting something sacred. That was the first flicker of discomfort. Not suspicion. Just displacement. She was glowing in every photo. And I was starting to look tired next to her. Distracted. Slightly blurred. At the time, I thought maybe that's just what middle age looks like. The real crack came from something stupid. She left her phone on the kitchen counter while she showered. A notification lit up. Daniel. Can't stop thinking about yesterday. You were unreal. My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen like it might correct itself. Maybe it was about lighting. Or a photo set. Or something harmless. Then another message. Daniel. Wish I could photograph you like that every day. That's when my hands started shaking. I didn't open the thread immediately. I paced. I argued with myself. Don't be paranoid. Don't be that guy. But I opened it. And there it was. Months of messages. Flirting that escalated into late-night confessions. Inside jokes. I miss your laugh. You looked incredible today. He doesn't even notice the way you shine. He was talking about me. And she wasn't correcting him. I scrolled further back. The first inappropriate message was almost a year old. It started subtle. You have the most expressive eyes. Then, sometimes I think you're wasted on ordinary life. She replied. Maybe I am. I felt physically ill. There were photos too. Not explicit, but intimate. Mirror selfies she never sent me. Close-ups of her collarbone. Her shoulder in soft light. He'd respond with things like, God, Emily. Or, You trust me with these angles. Trust me with these angles. That line shattered something in me. They weren't just flirting. They were building something. Emotional, layered, secret. The last message before I found the thread read, "Next time he's out of town, we don't have to pretend." I had a business trip the following week. That's when I knew. It wasn't just emotional. It was planned. She came downstairs wrapped in a towel, humming. I was sitting at the kitchen table holding her phone. She saw my face and froze. "What did you read?" she asked. "Not. What's wrong?" "Not. Why are you upset?" "What did you read?" "All of it," I said. She sat down slowly. No dramatic denial. No immediate tears. Just silence. "It's not what you think," she tried. I actually laughed. It sounded unhinged, even to me. "He wants to sleep with you when I'm out of town," I said. "What exactly am I misunderstanding?" She started crying then. Said she felt invisible in our marriage. Said Daniel made her feel alive. Desired. Interesting. "Nothing happened yet," she whispered. Yet. That word landed harder than any confession. Because it meant she was planning for it to. After an hour of circular arguments, she finally broke. "It did happen once," she said. I felt like the room tilted. "When?" "After the fall mini-session. You took the kids to your mom's." I remembered that day. I'd been proud of her. The photos had been stunning. She'd looked radiant. Apparently, that glow wasn't just good lighting. She said it was quick. A mistake. She cried after. He held her. "He understands me," she said. Like that was a justification. I asked her if she loved him. She hesitated. That hesitation was worse than a yes. I walked out of the house. I don't remember getting into my car. I just drove. For hours. All I could see was every photo of us smiling, knowing there was a secret behind her eyes. The next few days were chaos. I slept in the guest room. She cried constantly. The kids could feel something was wrong. Daniel texted her nonstop. I made her call him in front of me and end it. She put him on speaker. "It can't continue," she said, voice shaking. He said, "You're choosing comfort over truth." Comfort. That's what our marriage was reduced to. I grabbed the phone and told him if he ever contacted her again, I'd ruin his business. He hung up. Emily accused me of being threatening. Of overreacting. Overreacting. I felt insane. Like I was somehow the villain for not handling betrayal gracefully. Friends noticed I was withdrawn. I lied. Said work was stressful. I couldn't tell anyone. I was humiliated. He knew her best angles. And I didn't even know my wife. The worst part wasn't the sex. It was realizing she'd built a version of herself for him. The playful texts. The poetic thoughts. The vulnerability. She used to share those things with me. At night, I'd scroll through our old photos. Christmas mornings. Beach vacations. Anniversary dinners. Was she already drifting then? I started questioning everything. Every late editing session. Every time she said she needed creative space. I felt small. Replaceable. I kept asking myself what I did wrong. Was I boring? Too practical? Too tired? She said it wasn't about me. But it always feels like it's about you. I began seeing a therapist. I couldn't eat. Lost 15 pounds in 2 months. Trust isn't just about fidelity. It's about feeling chosen. And suddenly, I wasn't. She begged for counseling. Said she'd cut all contact with him. Blocked him on everything. Even changed her number. For a while I tried. We sat in a therapist's office and dissected our marriage like a failed experiment. Emily admitted she craved validation. That motherhood made her feel erased. Daniel made her feel like art. I told her I never stopped seeing her as beautiful. I just didn't know she needed constant reminding. We started date nights again. But every time she dressed up, I wondered, who is this for? Every time she laughed at something on her phone, my chest tightened. Rebuilding trust feels like stacking glass shards. You move carefully, but you're still bleeding. I wanted to forgive her. I really did. But I couldn't unsee the messages. Couldn't erase the image of him touching her lower back with familiarity. We didn't tell the kids the truth. We said Mom and Dad were working through things. But kids aren't stupid. My son asked me one night, "Why don't you and Mom sit together anymore?" I didn't have an answer. Emily tried harder with them. More baking. More school volunteering. I wondered if guilt was driving that too. The house felt different. Like the walls knew. Even our family photos, the ones Daniel took, felt contaminated. I took them down quietly one afternoon. Emily cried when she noticed. "They're still memories," she said. I looked at one where she's laughing, sunlight in her hair. I used to think she glowed because she was happy with me. Now I know someone else was behind the lens. And maybe behind the smile. 3 months into repair, I checked her phone again. I hated myself for it. There were no messages from him. But there was a saved draft email. Unsent. "I miss being seen," it read. "I miss the way you look at me." It wasn't addressed. But it didn't need to be. She hadn't let him go emotionally. I confronted her again. She said writing it was therapy. That she didn't send it. That it meant nothing. But to me, it meant everything. You don't write that unless you're still in it. That's when something inside me hardened. Not anger. Not rage. Resignation. I realized I could stay and constantly compete with a memory. Or I could leave and reclaim some dignity. I moved into an apartment 6 months after D-Day. We told the kids we needed space to be better parents. Emily cried when I packed. "I chose you," she said. But she chose me after choosing him first. That distinction matters. We're not divorced yet. It's pending. Complicated. Lawyers. Schedules. Daniel apparently moved to another city. I don't know if they still talk. I stopped asking. The first night alone in my apartment, I sat on the floor and felt the full weight of it. 14 years reduced to boxes and silence. I still loved her. That's the cruelest part. Love doesn't evaporate just because trust does. I don't look at cameras the same way anymore. Whenever someone says, "Smile," I wonder what's happening outside the frame. I became more guarded. Less naive. Friends say I seem older. Maybe betrayal ages you. Therapy helped me see that her choices weren't a referendum on my worth. But knowing that logically and feeling it emotionally are different things. I replay moments in my head constantly, trying to pinpoint where we drifted. Maybe there isn't one moment. Maybe it's just slow erosion. I don't hate her. I hate that I wasn't enough for the version of her that needed constant illumination. And I hate that someone else got to capture her light while I was standing right there. If you're reading this and you think your spouse is just being artistic with someone new, pay attention. Not obsessively. Not paranoidally. But don't ignore your discomfort like I did. I thought trust meant never questioning. Now I think trust also means feeling safe enough to ask hard questions early. I still see those photos sometimes. Social media memories pop up. She's glowing. And I finally understand. It wasn't magic. It wasn't just good lighting. It was intimacy disguised as art. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe we'll finalize the divorce. Maybe we'll find a fragile truce. What I do know is this. The person behind the lens matters. And sometimes the one who knows your best angles is the one slowly taking your life apart. I'm still learning how to stand in the light again.